Woo! Hey, my Gear Up friends, it's Aric Bostick, and I am so fired up, as always, to talk about our next lesson, emotional intelligence. You know, we don't talk enough about emotional intelligence. Obviously, we take SATs and ACTs and IQ tests, and we try to see how smart you are. But you know, it doesn't matter how academically smart if you're not emotionally smart. You know, emotional intelligence is basically being able to identify your feelings and emotions and handle them appropriately and have a measure of control over them, not let them run you over. And it also gives you the ability to have empathy for those that you interact with and understand their feelings and emotions and be able to put yourself in their shoes. And that's gonna help you have positive relationships in this game called life. And I gotta tell you, as your friend here, it's a process. Maturity is a process, and so we have to start that process right now. Right now as a young person, how do I start to grow up and care about others by caring about myself? You know, like anybody, I have sadness and anger. I've been depressed. I've been frustrated. I've been worried. I've been anxious. I've been excited. I've been ecstatic. I've been overwhelmed with enthusiasm and overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. So it's normal. So let's take that as step one. It's normal to have feelings. It's normal to be nervous as you walk into school for the first time. If you're at a new school, it's normal to get nervous when you meet someone new or maybe even ask someone out, or in front of a big test, you're anxious, oh my God, am I gonna pass this? Maybe you haven't studied enough, or maybe you studied so much but you're still worried because you kind of second guess yourself. There are so many things that we all feel. You are not alone in your feelings. So don't think that you're weird or something's wrong with you. You know, that's just part of life. I'm so grateful that we're built with feelings, that we can listen to our heart, maybe listen to our gut. But the thing we have to be mindful of is that we don't listen to these negative thoughts that start to plant themselves and change your behavior to a place where you're not doing the things you need to do to achieve those goals and dreams we've been talking about up until now. You know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, or nobody's ever gonna pick me, or you know what, I had this big goal and dream to go to this amazing school, but it's gonna be too hard, and what if I try hard and still don't make it? Or what if, you know, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good enough, or I just can't handle all the effort involved. And we just kind of give up on going through the process. Many times we're not willing to say, wait a minute, is that all true? To question our thoughts. So one, we know we are all gonna have thoughts and feelings. And two, hey, could we kind of question these? Do they have to be us? You know, one thing I've learned is I'm not my thoughts. You're not your thoughts. They're just thoughts like clouds in the sky. You know, a lot of times we have positive thoughts, we have negative thoughts, we have random thoughts. They're just thoughts. And we can choose which ones we're going to attach to or believe in. And it's really important that as we mature that we go, that's kind of a crazy thought. Or, I don't know if that's true. You know, I really am smart. And when I study hard, I do really well. And you know what, I'm kind of afraid of trying this, but if I don't try, I'll never know. And so I'm willing to try and find out. And this process of studying hard and meeting new people and stepping out of my comfort zone, you know what, I've survived that before. Maybe I'll survive it again. So I want to give you one of my big aha fear stories that I overcame, because people get so afraid of fear, which is kind of funny. We're afraid to be afraid. And my big deal was, as a kid, I had a season pass to a Six Flags for 2 summer seasons, and I had not ridden one roller coaster. My friends would kind of tease me, and my parents were unaware that I was just going to the amusement park and just kind of hanging out with my buddies, not even riding the rides. And my mother actually said, I'm not going to keep spending this money if you're not going to ride the rides, when she found out I was not riding the rides. And so I had this fear that I'd get to the top of that roller coaster, and I was really a skinny kid, and I thought I'd just somehow slip out the side. I thought I would slip underneath the thing that would hold you in, and I would just fall out. And I just didn't trust. I mean, thousands upon thousands, if not millions of people ride rides all the time and don't get hurt. But I was thinking I would be the one to get hurt. I'm sure some of you can relate to this. So my stepfather's a pretty nice guy, and he said, listen, you're not gonna fall, and you don't know what you're missing. So he decided to come with me to Six Flags, and we got in this long line, and we finally got on our ride, and I was so scared. I tried to take off, and he caught me and put me down, and they put me in that harness, and I really wanted to leave. And I was like screaming, stop the ride. And the person was like, we haven't even left yet. And all of a sudden, you know how it happens with these roller coasters. It takes off. And you know the scariest part of most of the rides, man, we zigzag, upside down, and within 90 seconds, it was over. And you know what? I had not died. And more importantly, I said, that was fun, let's do it again. How many of you have had that experience? I bet you have. And from that point on, I would ride the rides, even with my hands up, as some of you like to do. And I know I like to do too. But I'll never forget the final words my stepdad said. He said, you see all the fun that you've been missing by not riding the rides? What rides have you been unwilling to go on to be a successful student, to be a successful person in your athletics or band, choir, or just meeting new friends and getting out of your comfort zone, asking the teacher for help, getting involved in clubs, pursuing that huge dream, not the small dream? You know, what's the big thing you want to do with your life? And what's the big college you want to go to? What's the big scholarship you want to try to achieve? What's that thing that you really want that you maybe been too afraid to go for? Because if you hold yourself back, you'll never know what was possible. And if you know you have all these fears and all these worries and all these anxieties, wouldn't it stand to reason others do too? And what we want you to be as students is not just someone who's trying to achieve their dreams, but hopefully being a part of helping others achieve theirs. So how can you serve today as a leader on your campus? Who can you go and sit with and talk to that might be shy or struggling? Who could you talk to that might need a helping hand with their math or science or history? You know they're struggling, that you could reach out. Have you ever noticed the eyes of people walking the hallway where they look sad and down? Could you ask someone how they're doing? Could you even maybe ask your teacher, how can I help you today? Can I help pass out the papers? Or are you having a good day? Showing some interest in someone other than just your own little circle and sphere. That really get outside of yourself is what real success is all about. That when you achieve in life, you can actually help others. And when you get through your fears in life, you can actually pull others up with you. Just like if you were climbing a mountain, you can reach back and pull that next person up with you. So I have some talking points for you today. And so I want to go through those step by step because I want you to really dig deep and work with your mentor today as you follow these steps. So talking point number one, are you able to recognize and label your own emotions? Are you able to control your feelings and behaviors? Do you know what your buttons are and those things that seem to drive you crazy? How can negative emotions slow you down? Are you aware that how we react to emotions contributes to our own happiness and success? And how does your emotional state affect those around you? So as we finish this lesson, my final takeaway for you is this, is could you take responsibility for how you show up in the world? Could you take responsibility, you know what, I may be sad, but I don't have to show up sad. That I may be angry, but I don't have to take it out on other people. I may be frustrated, but I can take a deep breath and ask for help and figure this out. You know, one of my biggest regrets as a kid was yelling at one of my teachers after she started the spelling test, and I didn't hear the first 7 words because I was too busy talking to my friends and messing around, and I had 100 average going to that test, and she wouldn't repeat them. She wouldn't repeat those 7 words I missed. It was my fault. I had missed out, and I verbally just let her have it, and I got a couple days of in-school suspension, and it was all my fault. I wonder how many people are sitting in your detention center who could have just taken a breath and managed their feelings and not taken out on somebody else. How many people have picked on somebody just because they want to feel better about themselves? And how many times have you not tried for something because you are afraid to give your best because that fear overcame you? You know, we are the masters of our thoughts. We get to choose which thoughts we're going to believe in. We get to choose how we're going to handle our emotions. We are not powerless, we are powerful. So my good friend Troy LeBlanc, who's also our videographer who makes these amazing videos, he said a great quote to me today that I want to leave you with. He said, you can't stop the birds from swirling around your head, but you can stop them from building a nest. You know, you can't stop some of these fearful thoughts or fearful emotions or anxious things that come up for you, but you can stop them from controlling you. And you get to choose to walk through that fear and be your successful self, your best self, because your energy affects everybody. So show up as the fired up you. Now that's emotional intelligence, you choosing how you're going to be. Until we see you next time, I want you to sticks up, sticks out. Woo! stay fired up.